Yo, what is up, people? We are here. It's like, I don't even know, like 8 o'clock at night. It's 17, 18, 19, 7:49 p.m. and we are we are at a drive time. I couldn't find anywhere to park after my 2-day trip from Edison, New Jersey, all the way down to Lakeland, Florida, here outside of Tampa, between Tampa and Orlando. I dropped my load off around 5 o'clock, got out of there at 5:30. It was a 30,000 pounds of Marshall's clothing, and I dropped it at a warehouse. By the time I left there, my drive clock was down to, oh man, about an hour, 59 minutes. So if you can see, if I can get this on here. So it was down to, the 11 hour was down to 59 minutes when I finally was able to stop it. I originally went to Flying J. I got to Flying J outside Lakeland at right around 5:30, 5:45, I guess, and off I-4, and it's just ridiculous. These truck stops are always overcrowded. There's a dude outside barbecuing next to his truck. There's a bunch of random cars parked in there taking up spots that either I could have parked in or are just like on the corner. So when you go to make your 53-foot trailer tries to go around the bend, it can't fit. It just, at the end of the day, when you're down to an hour left of drive time, it's so nerve-wracking. And then I'm trying to pull out, and there's a guy trying to pull in at the same time with his tanker, and it's chaos. It's chaos you don't need after driving for 11 hours in a day. So I went there. I went to the weigh station on the other side of I-4. That was, it didn't say I could park there, and the arrows that tell you to either go or pull off, there was a green arrow saying go, like get back on the highway. There was a red X saying that like I couldn't really go into the parking area, so I didn't do that. I kept going. I made a U-turn. Now I'm back at the other side of the highway at the other DOT weigh station on I-4. And I said, screw it. They waved me through. Both made me pull in to be weighed. I have an empty trailer right now. I dropped off my load, picked up an empty trailer, so I know I'm not overweight. But I pulled into the red. I pulled into the parking area. It's hard to explain unless you've done this before. So like, either they tell you to go or they tell you to pull into the parking area. So and it's all done by like a green or red light system that's up on a pole. And it said green light, go back on the highway. And I said, screw it, I'm almost out of time. I'm gonna go into the DOT weigh station anyway. And I've really never done this before. So I pulled in. They gave me another set of arrows. It pointed to the scales. So I went on the scale. It's late in the day, and I pull up on the scale, and there's like a megaphone thing next to the scale about 10 feet in front of me. And the DOT, let me see if I can turn this camera around and show you what's going on here. I'll explain it. I come up through here. I pull up to, there's two lanes. I pull up to the one closer to us, and I don't know if you can see it from here. It's starting to get dark, but right there's a megaphone. So you pull up your truck right into the lane there, and they weigh you. There's a scale there. It's a platform that you park on. There's two of them. There's two lanes. So there's a guy in the other lane. I'm in one lane. I know I'm not overweight. The DOT officer in the building there, I really don't want to film them. I don't know if it's legal or whatever. They're like, they get on the microphone and they're saying something with the truck engine and the other truck engine, and the wind's blowing out here at like 20 miles an hour. I cannot hear anything. I have no idea what's going on. All I want to know is, can I park here? So above it, right behind the building there, where you can't see, there's another pole, and it literally has like a light on it, and it was a green arrow, and it said exit back to I-4. and it was flashing. So I couldn't hear what the DOT lady said. I said, you know what? I might as well just go. So I start going, and it just loops around to where I am right now, which is a parking area with multiple trucks down the line. There's 3 to my left. There's probably like 6 of them to my right. The first truck on the left down here, he was getting inspected. DOT lady was out there doing her police investigation or whatever they do, so I'm sitting right here, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, can I park here or not? I couldn't hear what was said on the megaphone thing over there. The sign said go back to I-4. I'm almost out of time, so I freaking just pulled in here and I parked. And like I said, the DOT people were walking in and out of the building there over to us in the trucks here. And I waited like a half hour, and I'm watching this stupid timer thing counting down, thinking, if I gotta go somewhere else, I gotta go now. So finally, I didn't see anybody getting out of their trucks. I don't know what's going on. There's a sign right here. That sign right there says stay in vehicle. So I'm like, I'm screwed. So I get out anyway. I go to the door right there, and I'm like, the door's locked. There's a little speaker button, so I pull on the door like an idiot. It's jammed. They can hear me pulling on the door like I'm a criminal or something trying to break in. And I'm like, so I'm like, hello, waving in the window like, hello, I have a question. I'm a retarded new truck driver. So, I'm thinking I'm going to get in trouble and come out and start inspecting my truck, like a 500-point inspection, and I'm going to get, I'm digging my hole here. So there's a buzzer thing that unlocks the door from their control panel through the plexiglass window inside. It's all secure in there. They're hitting the button to let me in from the outside where I was just pointing at before. I can't hear them unlocking that door. It's like a little click that unlocks the hinge. So that went on like twice. Finally, I thought I heard something, and I pulled on the door again, thinking I'm going to look like a criminal pulling on this door if it doesn't open. Because it's like I'm trying to break in. The door opens. I go in. There's another guy getting in trouble behind the counter with the plexiglass. There's two officers, back behind the plexiglass, talking to him through the little mouth speaker thing. So he walks out all angry. I go up to the window. I'm like, listen, I didn't way over scale or anything, but I parked over there, and I'm just wondering if I can park for the night. And the girl was really nice. The officer was really nice. She's like, yeah, you can park here as long as you don't leave your truck. At this point, I was like, yeah, no problem. I'll stay in my truck. I really don't even want to come out of my truck. I don't want to get in any trouble in here, because I'm sure if they dig hard enough on these trailers that are all beat to crap, they can find, violations. There's none that I know of, but like I said, I don't know what they inspect, what they don't inspect, and I'm sure if they just dig through everything, they could find some fines for me. So here I am at the amazing way station off I-4 on my time off, and I'm really aggravated because it's like 78 degrees out. I'm in my tank top and my Walmart freaking camo shorts. I'm not allowed out of my truck. I haven't had a shower in 3 days. The other parking places are just done, but they're done by 5 o'clock. It's just ridiculous. So I turn the light on in here, but I just don't want to. They can see in this window pretty good, I think, from in the DOT office there. I thought they would have went home by now. Maybe they did go home by now. I don't know. The lights are still on in there. I don't know if they work all night. I'm just aggravated because there's nowhere to park. You're like a slave in this truck. You're literally like a slave. I'm not getting paid right now. I'm not getting paid when I'm sorry. Let me make a correction. If I'm on duty and not driving, I do get paid $10 an hour, that's amazing. I get paid for driving, and Snyder's starting rate is 36 cents a mile. If you don't want to do the math, I busted the first 70 hours, the first week, 70 hours. My direct deposit check was 700. It was either $716 or $747. That was my net direct deposit to my bank account. If you take that amount and divide it by 70 hours, it's like $10.22 an hour that I'm making when I'm working. But the thing is, you're always working. Like, I'm technically off now. I was off when I parked the truck here, but I didn't know if I could stay here. I didn't know. You're nervous. You're still working. You're almost working. Like, I didn't know if someone's going to bang on the door at 1 in the morning and say, "Hey, you're not supposed to be parked here. This is the DOT way station. Now we're going to do inspection on your truck at 1 o'clock in the morning." Like, it never ends. It never ends, and you don't get paid for it. That's what's really aggravating me, is the amount of stress involved in hauling a 40-ton Saturn V rocket basically down the freaking highway. That's absolutely deadly. Like, every day I run into something that is possibly could have turned into a complete catastrophe, and I'm getting paid $10.22 an hour to do this. This is week 4. This is week 4 of this, and people are like, "Don't worry, it gets better. After 6 months, you'll make like 57 cents an hour or something." So let me just do some more quick math. If 36 cents a mile, and I busted my ass all week, 70 hours comes out to $10.22. Well, if you just doubled 36 cents per mile, that means I would be making, instead of $10.22, I would be making $20.44 an hour. So for $20 an hour, if I was making double 36 cents per mile, which it wouldn't even be that. It would be, I think they said 56 cents a mile or 54 cents a mile. So I'll still be making under $20 an hour, working 70 hours a week with no overtime. There's no overtime. After 40 hours, you do not get time and a half like every other job in America, where it's illegal for them to pay you straight pay after 40 hours. You're supposed to make overtime. That's why in the training, they specifically said, in the training class with the slides and the projector, they're like, do not try to unionize, do not try and form groups, do not do that. It's bad for you. It's a bad thing to do. Like, my previous job before this was union, and you know what? It was a great thing. It was a lot more safe. It was a lot more money. It was a lot more perks. So the mega truck companies are like, yeah, we don't want you to, those unions are bad. Well, guess what? They're really not. That's all a lie. So I think I'm done with my ranting. It's approaching the 8 o'clock hour. I'm going to be back up at, that's the other thing. I'm getting up at like 4:30 in the morning, starting to drive at 5. Like, that's only because I want to get up and be somewhat sanitary, like brush my teeth, drink a cup of coffee like a normal human being. I could just get up at 5:30 a.m. and be on the road. Well, you got to do a 5-minute pre-trip, but which really should take you 30 minutes. But I mean, just throw my clothes on, or I could just sleep in my clothes, just wake up and jump in the driver's seat. Wait the 5 minutes for the pre-trip timer on my supervisor over here, my robot supervisor here, because if you move the truck before 5 minutes, it says you didn't do your pre-trip, and you get in trouble. So yeah, I'm serious. Like, this is that movie Elysium, where like the robot police, that it's right here, right now. That's it, right here. This is the robot police. This thing will. I do not even talk to my boss. Like, I have, and they don't even call him a boss anymore. They call him a team leader. Like, they don't want to be known as bosses. They're just leaders. They're DTLs, driver team leaders. And I don't talk to them. They said don't call them. If you have certain problems, you have to call certain individuals. You have to call the hotline, like an 800 number. It's insane. Like, I have no reporting boss. I have no weekly meetings. I have nothing. It's just me in the truck, which you know what? Maybe that is better. Maybe that is better than corporate America. But it's also really freaking weird, because there's no arguing, there's no debating, there's no liability there's no accountability that gets put on your boss, because you're the guy driving the truck. You are not contacting them to have them make the decisions that they're getting paid to make. I'm getting $10 an hour to make the hard calls, to make the decisions that they should be making, but I can't get a hold of them because they don't want to answer the phone. They just want to be text messaging. And the text messaging on this thing, have you ever used a tablet, Samsung tablet, to text message? It's A, C, D, space, oh, that's, how did I hit the wrong, go back? It's like 10 minutes to send 2 sentences. So finally, just this week, I figured out how to do voice on it, but even the voice doesn't work. So that's my communications with the headquarters, with the with the operating center. It's just some type of futuristic nightmare out here, and I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. Like if I had my own truck on my own time schedule, my own loads that I could research, and I'm making that much money, $2,000 in 3 days. Doing an over-the-road shipment, that's a whole nother ball game. Making $10 an hour times freaking, I guess 11, somewhere between 11 and 14 hours a day. So $100 a day, driving 65 miles an hour with 80,000 pounds, with wife and kids in the car next to you, and you pop a tire and run them over, you go to prison for 8 years. Is that worth $10.22 an hour? How is this legal? How is this even legal? This is modern day slavery. And here I am. I'm at the actual the government sanctioning center right now. It's just fitting. It's really fitting. It was nice of them to let me stay here. I'd like to thank the Florida Department of Transportation for at least letting me park here, because there's nowhere else to park. Literally nowhere else to park right now. It's a Monday, or is it a Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. I'm 2 weeks on, 3 days off. So after about the second day, I just don't know what time it is. I don't care. We just changed over to daylight saving, whatever the hell the springtime is. We just adjusted the clocks the other day, Sunday, to an hour ahead. So it's weird because now it gets light at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it's not getting dark till, well, it's not getting dark till 8 o'clock at night apparently right now. So I don't know. I don't like driving it at night either. That's a whole nother thing. I'm an old man. My eyesight's starting to go. Getting that night blindness starting to act up. So, just gonna let you guys go. Sorry about the rant, but it's good to get it out of my system before going to sleep. So at least I can sleep tonight. The anxiety is lowered. But yeah, hats off to all you truckers for whoever's doing this crap out here, because this is just this is ridiculous.